Hold on.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
We are now officially on the show today, and we are all doing it from different locations right now. Like I said, I'm in Austin. We got some other people out near the Houston area. We have some people still in Austin as well on this show. And like we said, first time back, school's online, everybody's here. And despite us not being in the studio, it doesn't mean that we still can, we still can produce the show. And thankfully, we have very smart people on our TSTV staff. Shout out immediately to Justin Morris for getting this all together, our fearless leader and producer for making this happen. And we're going to keep going. Some of us were definitely worried after that spring break episode, potentially be our last episode of the semester, but we are here, and despite there not being live sports, we are ready to go. So first off, everybody at home is
we're back?
doing well. What do you say?
Would you say that we're back?
Hey.
Well, I guess after tonight, we'll see. It's like Texas kind of when say if we were really back or not before we prematurely say it, I guess. But we're definitely back in a way that I'm just happy to be talking about it. I said no live sports, but still plenty of topics to talk about today on the show. How's everybody doing though? How's everybody feeling? How's everybody's spring break?
Pretty solid on spring break so far. Feeling healthy, which is all good, and I'm wishing everyone else good health right now in this time of the pandemic.
Yeah, doing good. Just spending time with the family, and obviously thoughts and prayers out to all those medical workers on the front line and the government officials trying to get us through it. So just glad to report health and just prayers to everyone who's fighting this on the front lines.
Yeah, I've been spending a lot of time at home, a lot of time in good old HEB. Got to make sure that people eat, have food for the community and stuff. Keep Texas good.
Yeah, no, definitely for a lot of people, despite the times and despite what's going on, I know some people have definitely taken advantage of family time. I know plenty of my friends and other people. Seems like you guys also have been spending plenty of time with family, and it's always good to have that time, especially being in college, not having as much time as you normally would have. But it's great to hear that everybody's feeling healthy and safe. And like I said, exciting show today. We still have plenty of good content. The NFL free agency period was a crazy one. It was a doozy. But during this little break, during the spring break, a lot of time at home, a lot of time quarantined. I had to start out with this. Did anybody see Tiger King?
I'm 4 episodes in. I'm 4 in.
Such a good show. If you haven't seen it, see it. That's all I'll tell you. Has anybody else seen anything? Anything to watch? Anything on any movies? Anything on Netflix? Anything that's worth watching during this time?
A lot of movies for sure. I'm trying to think. Got through most of the stuff that was nominated for Best Picture. I just watched Midway the other night. That was a pretty good movie. Documented a huge battle of World War II. On Netflix, I've been watching the show All American a little bit. It's about a young football player trying to navigate his way in the world. It's very interesting. And that's pretty much it. Haven't been in the documentaries as much.
Yeah.
Got it.
Not a big Netflix guy or movie guy, but I know 1917 just came out on Blu-ray and DVD a couple days ago, so would highly recommend that movie. It was up there for one of the Best Picture nominations from last year, so really good, accurate portrayal of that war and a really good movie.
Of course. Definitely a good movie. Definitely a good movie. I saw it. You said did you see it, Adam, or no?
I have seen it. Yeah, I saw it about a month ago in theaters, so it was really good. Got it.
Matt, anything you got to recommend for the people to watch?
Well, Clark already touched on All American. Great, it's a good overall show. Really explores the life of a football player and like the stuff like outside the game, all like the outside factors. Tiger King's good, like you mentioned. Watching some like crappy cop shows on Fox, kill some time.
Definitely. And like I said, I mean, as long as everybody's safe right now, it's good. We're going to get into plenty of information. We got some Texas news this night, not being any athletic sports. I mean, there's been some eligibility. Been some people getting eligibility back for another year. Shaka Smart news, of course, is something surprising. You also have eventually making a return, if not officially make her return for the Longhorns. Longhorn Network, been producing a lot of stuff and showing some old games, just like everyone. Right before the show, I was watching Duke, Wisconsin, national championship of 2015 classic game. CBS has been trying their best, to help out with the college March Madness, empty hole that's happened during this period. So they're doing their best there. But definitely just excited to be back on, guys. I'm very happy that you guys could come and get this lively debate started very soon. So we're about 2 minutes away from the show, right, Justin? To make sure.
About 2 minutes away.
About 2 minutes away. Very exciting. Very exciting. Very happy that, like I said, to keep this going and talking and everything. Everybody's classes going? How's online been? How's the online experience been?
It's kind of a weird experience. It sort of looks like in those depictions of movies in the future where you see the big grid. You see that with the Zoom meeting now. In some ways, it's relaxing, but I think I would definitely prefer the classroom environment just because you get the one-on-one interaction with the professor and the ability to discuss work with your peers.
True.
Yeah, I would agree. It's definitely a little bit tougher doing remote learning. Obviously, it's for the best right now, but it is definitely interesting when you're still doing classes in your bedroom or around your house, not walking anywhere. So much of the commute across campus, I guess.
True.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't had anything yet because my first class is tomorrow, but I feel like it's going to be a little weird not having to be in the room with everybody. Everybody just comes in their own time. You maybe have some random people showing up, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Of course. I've seen a lot of weird stories, happening on campus. I'm just like with some like funny backgrounds or people just, like deciding to do stuff. And I saw somebody today, they were getting a haircut in the middle of their Zoom session and not too kind to that I saw. So a lot of funny stuff has been going on, but it looks like we're almost less than a minute away from the show. So we're going to wrap up some of this cold talk right now, and we'll see you guys soon and get ready to go debate some sports today.
There we go.
Go.
All right.
All right. Well, unfortunately, I think the people can still hear me, but that's all right. We're just going to kind of go. I'll just start counting down from 10. I'm going to remove myself from the stream, and I'll have myself back whenever we go to break. So, you guys ready?
Yep.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. I'll get to 3, and I'll just remove myself. So, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Shaka Smart is somehow back for one more year. TB12 to Tampa Bay. And how are you spending your time in quarantine? All this and more on College Crossfire. Welcome back into College Crossfire, the hottest debate show on the 40 acres. I'm your host, Zach Leff, and after a small hiatus, we are back with some great content. First, before I introduce the panel, I hope everyone at home is safe and is doing their best to stay inside during this tough time. Just keep washing your hands, and I know sooner than later that we will get back to life as we know it. So now let's meet the panel, though. On at first base, we have Clark Dalton. Clark, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Just want to wish everyone good health during this time.
Awesome. Thanks, Clark. On second, we have Adam. Adam, how are you doing today?
Doing good here in Houston. Just prayers out to everyone on the front lines battling this virus. Our thoughts are with y'all.
Great, Adam. Thank you. And on third, we have Mr. Marinchak himself. Matt, how are you feeling?
Great. happy to have the show back on. Wish everybody good health, and let's beat this virus.
Awesome. Thanks, guys, and good luck tonight. So let's get right into it. So after the month of April, and Shaka Smart is still Texas men's head basketball coach. This year seemed to be a make or break year, where if Shaka Smart was unsuccessful and didn't make the dance, then he would be out of a job. However, Smart didn't get the chance to push his way into the tournament with cancellations, and ultimately it probably saved his job. AD Chris Del Conte recently said that Smart is here to stay. So, was keeping Shaka Smart the right move?
Yes.
Clark,
and I think it was the right move because towards the end of the season, the team was on an upswing. They finished with 20 wins, and they had the possibility of advancing further in the Big 12 tournament, using that as a launching pad for the NCAA tournament. I also think it's crucial from a recruiting standpoint, specifically with Greg Brown. Greg Brown has said, if Shaka's not here, I'm not coming. Well, Shaka's here and now. There's a 90% chance, according to 24/7 Sports, that he signs with Texas. How good is Brown, you may ask? Well, he's a top 10 player nationally, standing at 6'9". He averaged 42% from three last season, 29 points per game, and 4 blocks per game. So you have this player who's outstanding with tremendous upside joining a team that has savvy veterans. This could be the piece that puts them in the upper crust of the Big 12 next season, and it's because Shaka is still here.
Definitely a veteran presence. A lot of players returning for Shaka Smart's team, and getting a guy like a Greg Brown would be a huge boost for the Longhorns moving into next season. Adam?
Yeah, I agree with Clark here, and I agree with both his points, really. The recruiting of Greg Brown is going to be crucial because I think that now Shaka's here, the Horns are in the pole position to get Greg Brown next year. But also, along with that swing, is there are no seniors on this roster besides walk-on Drayton Whiteside. Everyone's going to be returning. You got Andrew Jones another year removed from leukemia, and he had a really good this year coming back. You got Jericho Sims, who's going to be healthy again. Now you have Brown joining him in the front court. Ty Jones and Will Baker will have another year also. So with all this coming together, I think Shaka has the boost he needs. He's going to need to get in the tournament next year, and I think he'll probably need to win a game or two to keep his job. But with everything going on, it's the time.
Yeah, it definitely looks great down the stretch for the Longhorns. And you are right that they do have no seniors in their main rotation. So the Longhorns will be getting a ton of their pieces back from a strong end of the season run that went on.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you guys here because I don't think it was the right call to keep him, but that was their only choice. Obviously, with everything going on, you can't have a coaching search right now. You can't do coaching interviews, and it's just a hard time to get anything like that done. Sure, they didn't have that big win streak at the end of the season, but they get blown out by Oklahoma State at home, and then they go to the Big 12 tournament. We're never going to know if they're going to beat Texas Tech in that game or if Texas Tech's going to blow them out. We're never going to know if they're going to make the NCAA tournament. Throughout the season, Texas had many winnable games where they were up at halftime or up in the last few minutes of the game, and they blew it. If they were to win those games on top of the games they won at the end of the season, his job would be safe. And you look at recruiting, and like you guys said, sure, they could get Greg Brown if Shaka stays, but he's going to be another one and done. You have Jackson Hayes, Mo Bamba, Jared Allen. You'll have him for one season, but I don't think the recruiting is really going to do much with keeping Shaka besides Brown, and I just don't think it's the right call for Texas.
No, I do think if keeping Shaka for Brown is a big decision they made and a main factor. But ultimately, I do kind of agree with you in a sense that Shaka Smart didn't get to really prove himself in the tournament. And if he didn't beat Texas Tech, like you're saying, he might not be here right now despite the Greg Brown situation. But after the first question, we have Matt with 3, Clark with 3, and Adam with 2 points. Now we move on from basketball to softball. So the softball team for the Longhorns was on a hot start, a record of 24-3. They were primed to contend for a national title, it looks like, but their hopes and dreams came crashing down after the season was canceled due to COVID-19. However, unlike winter athletes who were denied eligibility despite not finishing their seasons, spring athletes were granted an extra year of eligibility. Star pitcher and senior Miranda Ellis will be back on the mound for the Longhorns next year. So, how big is it for the Longhorns to secure Ellis's return?
I think it's a huge win for the Longhorns, and fans should look forward to more perfect games. Miranda Ellis is just a one-of-a-kind player. She was excellent this season and was extremely versatile. She had an ERA of 1.25 and a batting average of 370. And it's also important from this perspective, is she's been with Mike White for a long time and understands the winning culture he's trying to bring to Texas. So she brings fiery leadership to the table. Next year, Texas has a top 20 class coming in, and she can relay the philosophy that White has instilled into this team and to young players, and that can continue to grow the program moving forward. This could get them to the point where they match Oklahoma and maybe win the national championship.
Definitely securing Ellis was huge. And like you said, that senior leadership and veteran experience that Ellis brings will be key for that young class coming in next year for the Longhorns. Adam?
Yeah, for sure. And Ellis has the tendency to come up with big plays. Against Iowa State last year, she threw a no-hitter and hit a grand slam in the same game. So she contributes both on the mound and in the batter's box. And her last start this year was a perfect game against New Mexico. And so when you come together, bring all that together, she won at number 1 UCLA. So she's showed that she can perform in the college, come up with big plays. And with the Longhorns hopefully continuing for a national championship next year, after their top 3 ranking when the season came in this year, they're going to need a leader like that to perform in the big moments.
Yeah, she's a big-time player. TSTV would say a PTP primetime player. Miranda Ellis, definitely big return. Matt, what do you have to say about it?
I think it's a huge return getting her to return because you see Texas ended the season as number 1 team in the country, and Miranda Ellis was one of the best two-way players in the country. Texas would not have started the season the way they did if they did not have Miranda Ellis. She was lights out on the mound and at the plate. And I think her leadership, she's been there for a while. She has a good bond with her teammates. That her coming back is going to create a domino effect for other seniors on the team to come back and unify together for that goal of winning a national championship.
Very, very true. She said that's one senior that Texas gets back is just going to lead to the domino effect of getting more. And like I said earlier, they were contending for a national championship. And if all those players return, it shouldn't be any different. Now we move on, though. After that round, we'll have everybody has 5 points. So it is a tie to that round. So 5 points apiece for Clark, Adam, and Matt. So with all the downtime and no live sports to watch, Longhorn Network has been playing games from years past to entertain the Texas fan base and let them reminisce in the glory days. So with so many classics to choose from, guys, what Texas games should Longhorn Network be replaying? Anybody?
I think you have to go in 2018, my first Red River rivalry game. There's about 12 seconds left. There's this freshman kicker. He's stepping in. I don't know if he can deliver, but Dicker, the kicker, is born, ice in his veins, straight through. And it was just a great moment for the program in recent memory. Definitely worthy of being replayed on Longhorn Network.
Definitely an excellent game to choose from. Cameron Dicker making a huge kick, and it was a game where Texas was up big and Kyler Murray had to bring a comeback. Definitely, I would consider a classic. Adam or Matt?
I'm actually you go ahead, Matt.
Go ahead. No, go. You're good.
All right. I'm going to agree with Clark in the sense of a rivalry game, but I'm going to go back to 2011 when the Longhorns were squaring off with the Texas A&M Aggies for the final time in that fateful Lone Star Showdown. Case McCoy with his heroic run across the field as the clock winded down. You have Blaine Irby, who hadn't played in 3 years to knee injury, catching a 40-yard touchdown. And then when the game winded down in the final seconds, the Longhorns down by 1, a kicker named Justin Tucker came on and booted through that field goal to give the Longhorns the bragging rights for what's now lasted 9 years. So obviously a great memory and maybe an incentive for the ADs to get back to the table and maybe get this rivalry game back here, hopefully in the future.
Yeah, Texas definitely has the advantage in that series. The game's not continuing, and that was the first of many clutch kicks of Justin Tucker's football career for sure. Matt?
I'm going to have to go back to 2004, Texas versus Michigan in the Rose Bowl, because that game right there set up the following season, 2005 national championship season. So if they were to go on and replay that 2004 game versus Michigan, and then if they do seven, play all the big games for the next season, I think that would be a good timeline of what Longhorn Network could do to show how Texas went from pretty good team in 2004 to national championship and upsetting the best team of the last 5 years, USC, in the Rose Bowl in 2005.
Definitely another good game to do. So like you said, no one chose the 2005 Rose Bowl game, but I appreciate that, to get a little diversity. I thought that'd be a common answer, but I like how you said that 2004 game against Michigan really propelled the Longhorns into a great season next year. After that round, we have 7 for Clark, 7 for Adam, and 7 for Matt. So it's all tied up leading into the round number 2. When we come back, the panel will debate all things surrounding NFL free agency. From Tom Brady's New England departure to who are some of the top players left on the market.
All right, y'all. That was really good. Super proud of you guys. Just kind of give ourselves a breather real quick, and I'll start setting up the next block.
I'll be right back.
Yep, sure thing. All righty, all ready?
Yes, sir.
Ready whenever you want.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna do the same thing. Stop at 3, and then just let you guys roll with it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Welcome back into College Crossfire. Let's quickly recap the score. We have 7 apiece. So Clark with 7, Adam with 7, and Matt with 7. So it's still anybody's game, as we know. So despite no live sports going on, the NFL free agency gave plenty of exciting and shocking moves to talk about. So first, let's dive into the biggest shocker. Tom Brady to, yes, Tampa Bay. Now credit the 42-year-old who secured a massive contract and picked a team with some valuable weapons. However, who would have expected the 6-time Super Bowl champion to ever leave the Patriots, Robert Kraft, and his partner in crime, Bill Belichick? So, was this the right move for Tom Brady's career moving forward?
Absolutely. I think that the Tampa Bay Bucs are the perfect team for Brady because he needs to prove he could win the Super Bowls without Belichick. And the Patriots, they really haven't helped out Brady the last few seasons. They lost Gronk a few years ago to retirement. And offensively, they don't have any weapons for him besides Julian Edelman. All he has, they got rid of Antonio Brown for the right reasons. They got rid of Josh Gordon for the right reasons. But all he had to throw the ball to is N'Keal Harry, Mohamed Sanu, Edelman, Dorsett. Those aren't big-name guys. When going over to Tampa Bay, you got 2,000-yard receivers last season with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. You also have O.J. Howard on the tight end, who is a great pass catcher, and Ronald Jones and Payne Barber out of the backfield. They have an overall good offense, and they could have been a playoff team last year if they didn't have Mr. 30 for 30 himself, Jameis Winston, as quarterback. So I think Tom Brady, instead of Mr. Winston, is going to bring this team to the playoffs and maybe a Super Bowl at home in Tampa.
Yes, definitely an upgraded quarterback. And like you said, Brady is getting some valuable weapons in Chris Godwin and Mike Evans.
Yeah, I would agree with Matt there. It's definitely the right move for Brady. The Buccaneers haven't been in the playoffs since 2007. So it's a perfect place for Brady to come in and show that he doesn't need a dynasty to carry him. He can lead a team to the playoffs. And with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin coming off both 1,000-yard seasons, even though they missed time, so that could have been a significantly higher number. You got O.J. Howard and Cameron Brate. And plus, would you rather be playing in the New England Winters or the Florida? A little bit more mild temperatures, better on Brady's body, and he gets away from the young AFC trio of Deshaun Watson, Patrick Mahomes, and Lamar Jackson. So I think there's definitely a place there for a playoff berth and Brady to prove that he doesn't need Bill Belichick and the Patriots to lead him through.
You know, definitely leading a different division, a different conference is definitely a positive. You know, the only difference is, though, now Brady will be having to go against Breeze twice a year, so that'll be an interesting one to see as well. Clark?
Absolutely not. Tom Brady did not make the right move by going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yes, the Buccaneers have good wide receivers, but that's just one piece in a championship puzzle. They still really haven't developed their defensive identity yet, and that was a luxury he always had in New England. Plus, this division is really, really good. Like you said, Zach, you have to play Drew Brees and the Saints. The Panthers can surprise you with Christian McCaffrey and now Teddy Bridgewater. and the Falcons still have Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. You have to play each of these teams twice a year. So those are 6 games where it's 50-50 because all of these teams are really talented and have a lot of chemistry because they've been together for a long time. Well, this is sort of a new experiment in Tampa. Even though Brady is an all-time great, I think that will ultimately be a detriment towards them in a late season playoff run.
Definitely entering a tougher division will not be easy for Tom Brady as he dominated the division with the Patriots for all those years. Now, it's interesting. It's a tough one for me to decide to give this one to, but I'm going to give it to Clark, and I'll tell you why. I like some of the points you brought up. For Tom Brady to go to a team that's not as successful, who doesn't – unlike the Patriots, who were a great defense and carried Brady the year before, Clark, I'm going to have to give you the point, despite the fact that I do like Adam and Matt's answers with saying that Brady does have more valuable weapons, which I believe getting Godwin and Evans is definitely an upgrade over the receivers the Patriots did have. But Clark, you will get the point there. So move on from Tom Brady going to Tampa Bay. That was definitely the top story. But let's not get it wrong. There were plenty of moves that occurred during free agency also. Phillip Rivers left the Chargers for Indy. DeAndre Hopkins landed in Arizona with Kyler Murray. And the Panthers got rid of everyone behind first head coach Matt Rule and brought in Teddy Bridgewater. With old faces in new places, what is the most shocking NFL free agency move to you? Adam, we're going to start with you.
Yeah, Zach, for me, this one isn't even close. It's the disaster that's the Houston Texans. They trade away a top 5 receiver in the NFL, DeAndre Hopkins, for a second-round pick in David Johnson, who hasn't rushed for 1,000 yards in 3 years. The Texans don't have a first-round pick these next 2 years but because of the Laramie Tunsil trade. And they didn't even try to get that with Hopkins. So now you lose one of the best receivers in the NFL, and you have a running back who wasn't even going to start for the Cardinals, and you still don't have a first-round pick for the next 2 years. So a lot of question marks surrounding this Texans offense going forward. And if Will Fuller –
what is going on? We lost Adam and are we back? Is everybody here?
Are we good?
Yeah.
Oh.
Good. Okay. Don't worry. It happens. First time doing this, difficulties. But do you have anything to add, or you just want to say anything more about DeAndre Hopkins?
Yeah, I'm not sure where it cut off, but just a very questionable move. They didn't get enough back for him, and now you have David Johnson, a running back with a very questionable injury history. So we'll see how it works out. We'll see how Will Fuller leads that offense.
Yeah, no, definitely a big loss for Houston. Bill O'Brien thinking right now. Clark?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the DeAndre Hopkins trade was absolutely huge and monumental, but I don't think the Cardinals win the NFC West right now with that trade, even though DeAndre Hopkins is an elite talent. One move that I loved over the offseason, and it can help this team win now, is Stephon Diggs going to the Buffalo Bills. It's important because it opens up their offense. They have a young, developing quarterback in Josh Allen, who for the first time in his career has a top-tier number 1 wide receiver to throw to, and he can grow with him. And this opens up new possibilities for the Bills because they really haven't had the ability to attack vertically downfield. And now with a move like that, you had Diggs, who's a huge asset in Minnesota. He was a 1,000-yard receiver. Now it brings you closer to competing with the Chiefs and Ravens in the future.
Definitely a great move for the Bills there. Just Stephon Diggs, it was known that he wanted to get out of Minnesota, and he lands in Buffalo. I think the one question, though, is people are worried if Josh Allen is capable of getting the ball to Stephon Diggs. We'll just have to see and wait till next year. Matt?
Well, I have to say the whole Melvin Gordon situation, because remember last year he threatened he sat out for a little bit, and now the Chargers releasing him and him going to sign with division rival Denver Broncos. I think that's a really questionable move for the Broncos because they have Phillip Lindsay. He's proven that he's a first-tier running back, having back-to-back 1,000-yard rushing seasons as an undrafted free agent, and they've ran the ball behind him effectively. He's a good pass catcher. So signing Melvin Gordon to this big contract doesn't really make a lot of sense. I guess the Broncos, they might be trying to just get as much firepower as they can to try to win with Drew Lock right now, but I'm not sure if that whole Melvin Gordon situation, it surprised me. I'm not sure if it's good for the Broncos. You have to see what happens with Lindsay, if he's going to be the second-tier guy. What's going to happen with Royce Freeman? Is he gone? Are they going to try to trade him? But if you look at the whole Melvin Gordon signing, you look back, as you guys mentioned about DeAndre Hopkins and the Texans, is they could have signed someone like Melvin Gordon or Todd Gurley and they wouldn't have to give up DeAndre Hopkins for washed up running back David Johnson.
That is true. That is true. Melvin Gordon definitely was an interesting situation all last year, and now ending up in Denver is a unique spot and one that I did not expect. But I think, this question was most shocking. So I think I'm going to, despite the cutoff, I'm going to give it to Adam here, the points. I do think it was very shocking that DeAndre Hopkins ended up in Arizona. I know there was rumors of tension, but that is what's happening. So we move on, though, now. It's about 2 weeks since the start of free agency, and there's been some big names on the market that are still out there. 3 former number 1 overall picks are on that list, which include Jadeveon Clowney, Jameis Winston, and Cam Newton. On top of those, there are still some very productive players looking for a new team. So my question is, and very quickly, just give me a nice, which player it is and why. Which free agent will have the biggest impact on the field next season? Clark, let's start with you.
I'm going to go with Everson Griffin. He's still a pass rusher in his prime. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler. He's had 10 or more sacks 4 out of his last 7 seasons. Any team would be happy to have him.
Thank you, Clark. Everson Griffin, great player. Matt?
I'm going to say Jameis Winston. Just kidding, it's April Fool's. We'll go Cam Newton. He's proven at college and at NFL level that he could take his team, get wins. He has a little bit of injury history, but now he's back. He's stronger than ever. He's going to come join a team, and he's going to do some big things.
Interesting, Jameis Winston. Adam?
I'm going to go with Logan Ryan here. He has a career-high 6 interceptions this past year, 20 pass deflections, pick 6 of Brady in the playoffs. He's still 29, and he has no concerning injury history.
Those are all great choices right there. But I'm going to have to give it to Clark. I do think Everson Griffin, a great player for Minnesota for years, could have a big impact as pass rusher. And we'll see that old pass rushers always have big impacts. So after this round, we have Adam with 8, Clark with 9, and Matt with 7. But it's still anybody's game head rapid fire. When we come back, the panel debates what background is the best to use for your next online class. And how would you deal with having to wait one more year for the Summer Olympics?
Great job. Let's keep up the good work. You guys ready to go for the final round?
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds good. Count us down from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to College Crossfire, the hottest debate show out there. And now it's time for the rapid fire round. Let's quickly recap the scores. We have Clark with 9, Adam with 8, and Matt with 7. But remember, each question is worth 2 points, so it's still anybody's game. This summer, the main attraction in the sports world is going to be the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. However, as many of you know by now, IOC leader Dick Pound announced that the games will be postponed until the following summer. Many athletes have been preparing so long to have their Kodak moment in front of the world and are now forced to wait one more year. So if you were in one of these athletes' shoes, what would you be doing with another year to train? Anybody hop in?
What I'm going to do. Oh, sorry for interrupting, Zach. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm bringing the Olympics to my house. This is not going to stop me. Look, I can find some way to navigate around where I don't break anything. You got IG Live nowadays, these streaming services that we have. We need the Olympics. There's a way we can do this. I have been training for 4 years as an athlete. This is my time to shine. I'm not wasting it.
Bringing the Olympics to your house. I like it, Clark. Anybody else?
Just going off like the social distancing and stuff, I would try to find a way to get a boat and train on that boat and get ready for the Olympics on that boat. If I have to build like Olympic training stuff on that boat, it doesn't have to be a small boat, be a yacht, be whatever kind of boat I could acquire. But being on that boat will help me train for the Olympics.
You'll definitely be away from a lot of people.
I would say make it a family activity. You think doing push-ups and sit-ups and stuff is hard enough? Wait until you get your 2 of your kids on top of you. So get the kids involved, get the family involved. Don't keep that social distancing, keep it inside the house.
Those were all great answers, guys. I'm going to give it to Adam. I do like the idea of, like I said, family are very important to be around this time. And why don't you get that extra year now to spend more time with your family. And if you need to keep training, let them help you. Give them a little motivation. So, Adam, you are going to get the 2 points there. So ever since the coronavirus has made its way to the USA, people have been told to practice social distancing. The government would enforce laws to ultimately close any places that would cause people to in big groups. Most people have been in their homes or apartments trying to stop the spreading of this virus. So in your opinion, what is the best way to social distance? Anybody can hop in.
I mean, you should just follow what the government's saying. Is just do your own thing. Don't go out and like party and stuff and like interact. I think the best way, you just sit home. You could cook your own meals. You could do some workouts at home. You could watch some Netflix. Anything you could do at home, you could basically just stay at home. Do whatever you need to do.
I like it. Adam or Clark?
Yeah, I agree with Matt. It's important to do stuff from home, but one thing you can do from home are Zoom meetings. So get involved, get your friends on Zoom, get your camps on Zoom, hang out there. It's the next best thing we got to face. So take advantage of your technology from your house.
Like you said, Clark?
Those are all really good tips, especially during this time. I think another good one to consider is get enough sleep. That's really important in boosting your immunity. A lot of people struggle with that. And now with this quarantine period, it's probably a good time to do that. So you're making sure that your body's staying healthy and that you're well rested and not too stressed out.
Yeah, I think clearly the main idea right here is stay inside and just stay safe. But I'm going to give the point to Clark. I do like your answer about getting enough sleep. I know during a lot of times people with jobs and everything and people who are in college and school and don't maybe not get the sleep they need. But if you can get enough sleep and, get your body rested and healthy, that's very important. So, Clark, you are getting points there. On to the question now of rapid fire. So recently for college students, classes have been mostly on Zoom. And with Zoom has come funny moments and funny memories overall. I've been showing off different backgrounds, and people have been hijacking into Zoom and trying to pull pranks and everything like that. But overall, if you had to choose your background for your Zoom class overall to have behind you, which background would you choose to have behind you during your class? Could be anything.
I like that one that they just showed with the fire, like the meme with the little like orange dog. That would be a good background. It's kind of metaphoric. You kind of be calm with all this chaos going around, all this craziness. So I think that's the best one to go with.
Not a bad choice. Adam or Clark?
Man, I gotta go with the Frank Irwin Center here. It's not always full for Texas basketball games. So you put the Irwin Center in the background, you still got plenty of space around you. You're keeping those 6 feet of social distancing and still representing Texas sports.
There it is. Frank Irwin Center, a little close to home. Art? I kind of like having the background of The Office in a virtual background for Zoom. Kind of has some focus. Definitely reminds you of a lot of great sound bites from that shows that were just absolutely ridiculous and funny.
That was a great one. Those were all great choices. I'm going to have to give it to Adam, though. I do like your reasoning for Frank Irwin. Like you said, that video that went viral during the year of TCU versus Texas, and no one was there. You do a great job of social distancing because no one showed up early on to those Texas basketball games. So, Adam, you are getting the point, and that means you are getting the win tonight, Adam. Congratulations on that. Go ahead. Give us a quick FaceTime.
Oh.
There we go. I just want to shout out all the family and friends and stuff around Texas watching. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. And obviously a big shout out, like we said at the beginning of the show, to those medical workers, to our government officials who are on the front line fighting this every day. So obviously no sports, so the focus needs to go there. Keep following their social distancing guidelines. And obviously just prayers to everyone around the world fighting this. We're going to get through this, and we're going to get this back to normal here soon, get our sports back going again. So just everyone stay safe and follow the distancing guidelines.
Great FaceTime, Adam. Thank you very much to all the panelists tonight, Clark, Matt, and Adam. Thank you guys for coming on. And again, congratulations to our winner, Adam. Thank you for tuning into the show tonight. Don't forget to follow us at TSTV Sports on social media. And for all the panelists, producers, and members of TSTV Sports, stay safe and have a wonderful rest of your week.